Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the grand opening celebration of Jenna's Promise. It is so great to be here with you today on such a really just a beautiful day. My name is Nat Kinney. I am the Vice Chairman of the Johnson Select Board. And I want to, it was often said about Jenna, and it is said, that Jenna's journey was like a rock thrown into a lake, sending ripples outward into the future. And today, we witness and celebrate these ripples spreading out in front of our eyes. As a local official in a small Vermont town, the opiate crisis has often felt like a storm too powerful and too large to do anything about. In 2019, shortly after Jenna's passing, I ran into Greg Tatro in town here, and we started talking about Jenna's Promise, then more of a concept than a reality. And I'll never forget the look in Greg's eyes when he looked at me and he said very plainly, somebody's got to do something. Somebody's got to do something. Many of us talk about the crisis gripping our community. Greg and Dawn Tatro are doing something about it, and they are only getting started. With that, it's my pleasure and my honor to introduce the president and founder of Jenna's Promise, Greg Tatro.
Well, thank you folks very much for showing up and coming here to support us. I'll try to get through this without too many tears, but if anybody else knows how to read and I lose it, come on up. So thank you very much for your support. It's great to see such a crowd here. I never could have believed I never could imagine what I'm seeing. It's incredible. It makes us very proud to know so many people are here and those who have supported us and believe in us. To those of you who are just getting familiar with us, I'm Greg, and my wife Dawn is here. And she's done a lot of beautiful work. She is, I'm going to start calling her Mother Mary too, because she has helped so many people. People call her, doesn't matter, Saturday, Sunday, midnight, any time. She's there to guide them through the process and there to help and just be a friend sometimes. So what she does is amazing. So this day is dedicated to my daughter, who, though she didn't make it in her recovery journey, inspired us to carry on in her stead. She told Dawn when she was working to stay in recovery that her wish was to go and help others in recovery. After she passed of an overdose in 2019, I knew we had two choices. We're either going to lay down or stand up. There's no other choice, and we decided to stand up. The first weeks were rough, but once we got our bearings back, we knew what we had to do. We were determined to try and make sure that other families would have better opportunities for success than we had. We saw where the system fell short. In Jenna's obituary, we wrote that our daughter Jenna's journey was like a rock thrown into a lake. The rock might disappear, but the ripples roll ever outward into the future. I think Nat might have stole a little of my thunder there. I don't know, Nat. Did you get that approved? So anyway, now I've lost my space here. Let's see. Jenna started the ripple, and it rolled into this family. Dawn and I, with my son Gregory and his wife Amy supporting us, we began working to start this nonprofit. It soon expanded into my dear friend Barry Cohen, who is here today, Sheriff Roger Marcoux, and Bernie Juskowitz. who was a great friend, and he passed away a little bit ago with COVID, so we were very saddened. But I was lucky to see Bernie a few weeks before he passed, and it was right here on these steps that we got a picture of Bernie and a few of us together. And then Susan was a little late to pick him up, so I said, well, Bernie, I'll give you a ride to Jeff, and we did, and boy, am I glad we did, because that was our last chance. So he was a great guy. So from those small beginnings, we have grown a movement for change. We see the weakness of the way the recovery is handled in this country. We learned this through often painful experience with Jenna, and we are still fighting this battle on the ground. You know, we are on the ground. We see what's going on every day. We see where things aren't working. We see where people fall through the cracks. We are determined to challenge the establishment and shift the paradigm of recovery to one that can be a model in this nation, right here in this little town of Johnson. We've begun to get real support for this cause from a small group of family and then friends. We are now joined by the community of Johnson, and we have forged a powerful partnership with our friends at North Central Vermont Recovery Center in Morrisville, and also have a satellite here. They also believe in bringing about a better way to treat and recover. Jenna's Ripple has joined us with them. Together with this team, we are more powerful than we ever would be apart. We are so happy they have joined us here, and they will be cutting the second ribbon. We've been overwhelmed from the beginning from the support of this wonderful community that Jenna grew up in. People from all walks of life have reached out and looking to help and join. Our select board, our board of trustees are here representing this town at a local level, and other amazing elected officials with our good friends like Representative Dan Noyes, Senator Richie Westman, and quite another bunch of crew here I see. We could be here all day, folks. So, and we're honored to have Peter Welch and Bernie Sanders with us today. We're glad that the campaign's over, Bernie. Or you wouldn't be here. We are joined to the end this crisis at every level of this country. And all of us here are united together in this goal. Just another ripple that my daughter helped bring forth. Our vision is one that will change this system and make a difference, make it better. The way things work now, when people go into inpatient treatment centers, when they're done their 14 days, they go back to the same place they came from. And we know that their chances of success are slim when you do that, because the same friends come knocking, the same people are there, all the triggers are there. And that's hard for folks to do. This is a very addictive drug and a very addictive lifestyle. So we're not surprised that they fall back into their old ways. Without any support, we are setting up these people for failure. The system doesn't work as we, with the support of these two groups, are looking to change the model of care. The way we provide that better model is to provide safe housing, a safe place to work, and a sustainable future. Thank you. And we're going to cut our, okay, so this hasn't been approved, but it's going to be okay. So I want everybody here, when we count to 3, we're going to cut the ribbon, and we're going to say, Jenna's house is open. Okay?
All right.
So I'm gonna have to holler. I'll go back up there. And the reason we're all doing this is so Jenna in heaven can see us. Okay? So everybody raise your arms. On a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Jenna's house is open.
Thank you, Greg. And now I'm pleased to introduce Daniel Franklin, the Executive Director of the North Central Vermont Recovery Center. Daniel's leadership, vision, drive, and humility have been pivotal in making Jenna's Promise a reality. My friends, please welcome Daniel Franklin. Daniel Franklin.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today to help us open the doors to Jenna's House, a paradigm-shifting and holistic community and recovery center operated together by Jenna's Promise and North Central Vermont Recovery Center. We're here for you, and we are here because of you. Not even a global pandemic, worker shortages, skyrocketing construction costs, grief, or other challenges we faced along the way could stop us. In fact, the trials we've all faced since this project began more than 2 years ago compelled us and propelled us even more to make this a reality. As Greg often says, Vermonters and Americans are suffering and dying every day from substance use and co-occurring conditions. We must act with courage, conviction, and urgency to change that. Substance use disorders directly affect tens of thousands of Vermonters, tens of thousands of families, but in the end, we're all affected. Substance use is linked as both cause and effect to virtually every other issue we care about, every aspiration we have as a state, and everything we are trying to do to improve the places we call home. Here, we won't just help individuals to heal in recovery, we'll help families, and we'll do our part to help our community as a whole heal and recover and prosper. We won't just address substance use. Sobriety is merely one stop among many on the long and winding journey of recovery. It is not the destination, only a step toward a healthier and happier life. We will help whole people build resilience and foster environments where recovery can thrive. We will instill a sense of meaning and purpose, and we will build community and connections. Above all, we will strive every day to inspire hope, for where there is life, there is hope, and where there is life and hope, there can be recovery. Every person who has achieved recovery is a bright light in the darkest of places. They are the proof that recovery is possible, that a life lived in recovery can be beautiful and healthy and happy and a fulfilling one. By choosing to work in this field or to help others in whatever way they can, every one of us helps to provide the understanding, the compassion, the healing, and a way forward and through the darkness that we all seek, no matter who we are or what we've endured. All of us are healing from something, and all of us need hope in our lives. That's what recovery centers are about. So today, we mark the beginning of this new chapter, and we welcome you to this special place, and we look forward to working together for a better future. We cast our rock of hope today into the sea of humanity, endeavoring to create a ripple effect that will reverberate throughout Vermont and beyond, and show the way for others to create recovery-friendly communities. Thank you, each and every one of you, for being here and for helping us along this journey, and for all you will do in the years to come. Thank you to all of NCVRC's staff, recovery coaches, volunteers, board members, donors, and past members of our teams for making it possible to get to this point through your belief, your dedication, your courage, and your strength, and through your efforts. Thank you for being you. With that, I invite everyone from NCVRC to join me as we now declare the North Central Vermont Recovery Center at Jennas House officially open.
Thank you, Daniel. I wanted to mention a couple of things. Around the side, there is a raffle. There's a 50-50 raffle, I believe, but also a raffle for a new pellet grill. And the drawing will be at 1:45 today, so please stick around for that. Also, if you're visiting Johnson, don't forget to go down Railroad Street. Go to JP's Promising Goods. It's an amazing little store. It's down there at the end of Railroad Street, across the bridge, in the old Parker and Stearns building, and it's they've always got a great assortment of fun products, and it's an important part of the Jenna's Promise family. Today we talk about and we celebrate ripples, and it was 40 years ago to the year that our next speaker won his first election for mayor of Burlington, Vermont, by 10 votes. Today, as we celebrate the ripple effect, reflect on the impact that those 10 voters, those 10 votes in little Burlington, Vermont had on the next 4 decades of American politics. Today, he is one of the most influential people in Washington. He is a passionate, lifelong advocate for the underrepresented in society, a fierce defender of justice and fairness, Bernie Sanders.
Well, I think I can speak for Congressman Welch in saying it is very good to be out of Washington. Let me thank the Tatro family for allowing me to say a few words to you this morning. As Haley and I were driving up from Burlington, a thought, a memory just came into my mind. My grandmother couldn't read and she couldn't write, but she was very smart. And she said to me when my mother died at a young age that the hardest thing in her life was to be burying a child. Parents should not be burying children. Children should be burying their parents. And the Tatro family, as Greg just said, had a choice to make. They could succumb to their grief, and losing a beautiful 26-year-old daughter is hard to imagine. They could succumb to that and bury their heads in the sand and turn away from life, or they could do everything that they could to make sure that other families do not have to go through the pain that they have gone through. And that is what they did, and that is why we're here today. So we want to thank the Tatro family for their courage, for making sure that Jenna's struggle was not in vain, and that the community comes together to make sure that other families don't have to deal with the pain that they have. In Washington right now, I think there is an understanding of the horrors of the opioid epidemic hitting every state in the country. And a lot of money is going to come into Vermont and other states. But at the end of the day, as much money as we can bring in, and that's important because we need the counselors and the psychologists and the holistic approach that Greg talked about. At the end of the day, money is not going to be enough. We really need to develop community. we need to make sure that all of us understand that we're not alone, that we're in this together, that every family, trust me, every family has their issues, every family has their pain. And all the money in the world is not going to solve those problems. The only way we solve those problems or address those problems or ease the pain is when we come together. So I just want to again thank the Tatro family for being a model of what community is about, and thank them for all that they're doing. And to say today we are not forgetting Jenna, that Jenna lives, and that her life has meaning today, and that it will ease pain for so many families in our state and the country. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Senator. Next, Congressman Peter Welch. As our representative, Peter Welch has co-authored multiple bills that are helping to attack the root cause of the opiate crisis. Congressman Welch has said, the opioid epidemic is ravaging communities in Vermont and across the nation. Our first responders, local law enforcement, healthcare providers, treatment facilities, and service organizations are on the front lines of the public health emergency, but they cannot do it alone. Thanks to Congressman Welch, we are not doing it alone. My friends, Congressman Peter Welch.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to follow up on something that Bernie said that meant a lot to me listening to this. He said all of our families have their challenges. And every one of us, if we've been so fortunate in life up to this point that we haven't experienced real loss, and there's no more grievous a loss than losing your beautiful daughter, loss awaits us. It's going to come. And how are we going to be prepared to cope with that loss the way Greg and Dawn and Gregory and Amy accepted their loss? And accepted may not be quite the right reason. There's no choice when you lose a person you deeply, deeply love. But it's the life you've lived up to that point of loss that is going to give you the strength to take action and to turn grief into action, to turn the almost despair that is hanging over you and actually infuses you into a loving response that is going to give an opportunity for other people to make themselves whole. You know, it's so wonderful for us to be here. You know, Bernie and I and Patrick, he wishes he could be here. Let me tell you, he's been such a champion for Vermont and for everything that folks in Johnson care about. Diane Derby from his office is here. But we're debating public policy issues down there, and they're important. But there is literally nothing important, more important, than the community that you live in, the family that you have. And all of us have to make a choice in life about whether we're going to live a life where when we're meeting people who have their challenges, we respond with judgment or acceptance. We withdraw a hand or we extend a hand. That's a choice that is within the heart and soul of each of us to make. And one of the challenges we face in making the choice all of us know we want to make, to extend that hand, to act with acceptance rather than judgment, is the sea of conflict that we see around us, and obviously, especially in Washington. But let me say this, that's not an excuse to not make that choice that you know is right, the choice that the Tatros made, to act, to make things better. And you know, there's a lot of recognition that we're doing this in Jenna's memory, and we're doing it to help folks who faced her challenges. But you want to know something deep down in my heart and my soul? We're doing it for ourselves. Because we have to decide the kind of person we want to be. We have to decide whether we want to be that one who is helping, who is working with others, who is building community, and who does it because it's not just that it's the right thing to do, it's the thing that liberates each of us to be the best person that we can possibly be. So Greg and Dawn and Gregory and Amy, all of us are so, so grateful to you that you took this horrendous tragedy in your life. And by the way, I just also want to admire how much we all respect that you as parents, with all of the anxiety, all of the suffering that you went through with Jenna, the starts and the stops, the step forward, the 2 steps back, you never, ever wavered, because it's what a parent does. You're there. It's family. That's what you do. And you don't do it because you know or hope the outcome will be the best it can be, but that's not why you do it. You do it because you're a dad or you're a mom. You do it because you're a neighbor. You do it because you're a citizen. And it's what we should do, and in the doing of it, we're better people ourselves. So the Tatros, all of you, we just so express our gratitude to the inspiring work that you do to remind us of what each of us can do. So this is a great day. And you know, Bernie, I really identify with what you said. It's so, it is wonderful to be out of Washington, but I think you'll agree with me, it's really, really wonderful to be here in Johnson. Thank you.
Jennas House is open. Come on in.
We got one little more thing here. Mr. Bovat, whose son, Timmy, passed away. He has a foundation in St. Albans that actually helps housing people with the same,
Tim's house.
for Tim's house.
Tim's house for the homeless.
For the homeless, that's right. And he's been grateful to bring us a donation today, and we're very thankful about that. I don't know what it is. It might be a gallon of maple syrup, you know, but we really appreciate it. Thank you, Jerry.
At this time, from Tim's house, I'd like to present Greg a check for $5,000.
That's what we call working together, folks. Thank you.
Mike Smith from the governor's office here today. Thank you for joining us.
Any day now, well, I shall be released. Say everything can be replaced. Every distance is not near. I swear I see every face.